Okay, so I am here to share my story in hopefully 5 minutes or less, so here we go. And by my story, I mean like with weight and working out and fitness and all. So I was never an athlete. I hated sports growing up. I had no coordination. I don't know why. And as a result of not being very athletic, I was a very sedentary child, and that led to being a very overweight child who believed that Oreos constituted their own food group. As a result, accumulated a lot of weight over my childhood. And by the age of 13, I was about 160 or 161 pounds. That was one of the most traumatizing experiences as a child that I had at a doctor's office, because I heard like the hush-hush tones of, okay, how do we get her to lose weight? How do we get her to be healthy? She's like at dangerous levels. And I heard those and I became scared because I didn't realize there was something wrong with me. I just knew that I preferred oversized t-shirts and it hurt when I ran. So I didn't want to play any sports because I tried like 5. None of them worked for me. I felt like a loser in every single one. I hated being surrounded by my peers while I couldn't breathe, or while I couldn't kick and I couldn't throw a ball into a hoop, so I gave up. I said, no, I'm not doing it, and I just started using the treadmill at home and like walking. I walked every day. I made it a point to do 3 miles, and then I started jogging. I started off not being able to go to 4 miles an hour. That was a struggle. I couldn't do it. And actually after 2 years of doing this and some personal training, like with some weights, I was able to drop 160 to 125 by the end of middle school. So when I started high school, I was good to go. I did what everyone told me. People were like, you look so great, you got skinny, blah blah blah. I inhaled the compliments and was like, this is what it feels to live. And I was great until I thought, okay, let's take this up a notch. I started doubling my workouts and tripling them. I started cutting my food in half into a third. And by the end of high school, I was able to drop another 25 pounds. This isn't a good thing. I went basically to 100 pounds. For reference, I'm 5'4", by the way. And I was underweight. I was miserable. I had lost any type of energy I had. I slept for days because my body wasn't functioning optimally. And the only reason I kept doing this despite feeling so terrible was because everyone kept telling me, Lina, you're so skinny. Oh my god, that's so great. And in retrospect, I want to punch those people in the face, but that's fine. I was dangerously underweight to the point where I had all these hormonal issues. I couldn't understand what I should do. I didn't want to see anyone about it because I was afraid they'd tell me to eat more and that I'd become overweight again. Then I'd have to deal with the insults, and I couldn't deal with it, so I didn't. And eventually, under duress, I saw a nutritionist who recommended that I double how much food I was eating while cutting my workouts by at least a half. I started eating more, but once I had started, my body was so starved, it was so malnourished that I couldn't stop. So I started inhaling food like there was no tomorrow. There was like a famine, and this famine was like a year because I just kept eating and eating for a year. And I went from 100 pounds and I jumped from 100 to like 160. And that, in like 8 months, my first year of college was one of the most difficult years ever, because every week I would be heavier, my face would be rounder, my body just bigger, and I was miserable. I didn't want to make friends. I didn't want to leave my dorm. I was too humiliated. I went to the gym very, very infrequently despite missing it because I couldn't be the, oh, she used to be fit, what happened to her? I didn't want to hear it, so I didn't go. It just kept going on and on. Eventually, I stopped gaining weight around the 160 mark, which was like where I started from in like the 4th grade. So I stopped, and I was like, okay, so now what do I do? The hormone issues eventually did resolve, which I'm very, very grateful for. And I was stuck because there was nothing. I was like, okay, well, if I start working out again, will I go back to being 100 and have to continue this process for the rest of my life? What do I do? So I started reading. I read everything, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos that were very informative, and I just researched working out with diet in an attempt to not have to become underweight or overweight. And I was scared to death of doing anything because I didn't want to go back to where I had started. With the help of like a trainer and a coach, I was able to not only get certified by the end of college, but I took the last 3 years and lost weight very slowly. So eventually I hover around like 130 naturally, and I got from 160 to 130 painfully slow pace, but at a sustainable pace because I basically stay at this weight regardless of what I do. So it took a lot of knowing how much to eat, realizing I was eating too little or too much on certain days, realizing I was overdoing it in the gym versus underdoing it, realizing that an hour of running is not the best solution to anyone's problems if you want to maintain some type of shape. And I have gone through a lot of trial and error in an attempt to understand how my body works. And along the way, I did become certified. I was able to help other people do it, and eventually, despite the fact that I to this day, there are still people who tell me, Alina, you're too big. Alina, you're too small. Alina, you have too much muscle. Alina, why don't you build up a bit? Every day. I found a place of sustainability. I found a place of, I enjoy going to the gym. I don't go under duress anymore. I don't go under this inclination of if I don't go, I'm going to be fat the next day, which was my mentality before. I go because I enjoy it, because I make sure I do something different every day. I work towards performance goals instead of only weight loss goals. So can I deadlift more today? Can I run that mile faster? I learned that there's a way to be strong whilst maintaining a weight that's healthy for you without going to either extreme, and while just like having fun in the process. I eat more cookies than most people do. They don't realize it because I don't eat them in front of them, but I do. I love ice cream, but I love salad. I love running, but I love to do squats. There's nothing that you can only do one thing. It's not the case. Don't go and do the elliptical for 3 hours because you feel like that's the only way you'll ever get to your goal, because it's not true. And knowing that it's very hard to start from either the one extreme of not doing enough to one extreme of doing too much, I'm here to help anyone who wants to be in the middle ground. And I wanted to share that because I get a lot of questions about this. So that is my very, very, very short condensed version of my story, and I want to hear yours. So please, if you have anything, reaction, comment, suggestion, feedback, observation, please leave it below. And thank you for watching. And I'm pretty sure this ran long, and I'm really sorry.